This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
You've said all along, you said that y'all will lose one of these games, so it happened.
Yep.
Just what do you think led to this one?
How they played. I'm not going to be that coach comes in here and gives you the old song and dance that they outplayed us and then make a bunch of excuses. There's none. They have played very well this year. Their record is not indicative. They've had some tough breaks. They didn't have any tough breaks. They got all the breaks today. They made them happen. They got to every loose ball. I don't know what the number is going to be, but when I look at that film, it's going to be hard to watch because I felt like we would really defend and then they would just out-hustle us to the ball. 22 offensive rebounds tells you that they were really playing harder than we were, especially in the second half. But I'm not going to stand up here and make a bunch of excuses because I just don't want to be that coach that, makes excuses when another team kicks your butt like they did. If there are reasons, I'll go back and I'll figure it out. Maybe I will figure that part of it out, but there's no reason. We were not tired. We did not look past them. There none of the obvious things. I just think that's probably how good they kind of are. And the way they played today, especially in the second half, they were just better than us and maybe better than us overall. I don't know that yet, but they were certainly better than us in that second half and probably better the whole game except for just the second quarter. So credit to them. I've been, like I said, like you mentioned, I've been telling you we're going to lose one of these. It's just too hard. It's too hard to have to get up in the non-conference 4 times a year. Obviously, they had a great crowd. But again, like I told Dawn at the end of the game, she earned that celebration. Go celebrate. Your team had a great win. And I'm not mad that we've scheduled the game. I'm not second guessing. I'm not going to listen to any of that. It's good for our game. It's good for the state. It just hurts today a little bit, but again, credit to them. I thought Dawn and her staff did an amazing job. I thought, Zay obviously dominated the game in a lot of ways, but it was those other kids. It was Davenport getting 6 rebounds, Jaleesa Reese getting in there and get a couple, Karai hitting some really timely shots. She gets 15 on 21 shots, but they were all timely. I mean, they were like, we would get a stop and they'd get kicked out to her and she'd drain it. So, for her to have a game like that in this gym, I mean, if you're a Razorback fan, it's kind of cool. It sucks for us. But for Karaya to do that with her dad in the stands and everything, they were holding Corey out there behind the curtain. I said, Corey, you can come back here. You've earned that in this building. So I'm glad we play the game. It'll hurt today. It'll sting. We'll learn from it, or we won't. We'll find out.
We saw Sam with a mask on. We saw Talia go down on the last shot. Just any update on those two?
Sam, she got hit in the nose like second or third play of the game. And it, obviously had a lot of effect on her. But she's a gamer. She battled through it. She didn't have her best stuff tonight, but that's okay. You don't take a kid out that says that she can go. She said she could go. It just didn't work out for us, but she got hit. I think Talia came down on the kid's foot there at the very end. We'll get it looked at. She's walking on it. She's going to get some treatment today before she goes home. Sailor's got the shit. We've all got something. We've got a lot of people in boots. We missed Emery tonight. There's no getting around that. We missed her toughness. I felt like Emery's toughness could have been very valuable for us on those boards. Our freshmen are just not ready to play in a game like that yet. Chris did her best. Carly came off the bench and gave us 13 minutes, but we really missed Emery tonight.
Coach, I mean, I guess early in the season, y'all had some issues protecting leads and things like that. Tonight wasn't that big of a lead, but was it some of the old things that from the earlier in the season that pop back that you can?
It's a good observation and a really good question that I don't know the answer to yet. In games like this that get emotional like they do, my analytical brain doesn't work very well to be able to compare something that happened 2 or 3 weeks ago. But you could very well be right. It could be our a little bit of lack of being able to rest some of those kids. Talia, not having to play 40 minutes instead of 36. Maybe she makes that last shot. So I'll look at what we've been doing in practice to make sure that they've got their legs come game time. Cause it's not like Emery's going to be back. I'm not sure when Emery will be back, but you can't count on that. So there could be some correlation. There's not any that jumped to my mind. They've all been kind of different things in the past. It was usually because of a lineup change that I had made. In those other leads, like we would be up 20 and I would try to play some younger kids in some rotations. That was not the case tonight. I stuck with those starters almost through the second half. So if I were to lean on anything, my best guess would be that we did get tired because of how hard they made us play. Not how hard we worked in practice, but not how hard they made us play this afternoon from 1 o'clock till whatever time it is now.
I guess, is that also something you have to evaluate? You have, looks like 3 people over 39 minutes. Is that something that's probably sustainable or not sustainable moving forward?
Probably not sustainable the way that we've been doing it. I mean, if we made some changes to practice and maybe how many minutes we had in practice or how many reps we had in practice, we could sustain that. Because I do think Tyler and our strength and conditioning staff, our nutritional staff have done a great job of getting them to be able to play that many minutes. But it's not something we really want to do when SEC rolls around. I will tell you that the SEC season lays out a little bit more routinely. You play Thursday, Sunday. Right now we're heading into finals. We've been doing those things in the non-conference. We try to play 15 games, which is a full schedule. There's a lot of teams that only play 13, so we don't get as much rest. That could be something to evaluate maybe, but I'm not just going to do it right after we lose. We'll look at it at the end of the year. Yep.
Scott was on such a heater early. Their coach said they actually walked through some things in the locker room at halftime to work on coming off screens. From your perspective, what did they do to?
They made change. They were kind of letting us play off of them initially, and we'd worked on them pressuring, and they started showing, they started trapping, hard hedging, doing aggressive things, Grant, to get it out of our hands. We had worked on it. We obviously didn't work on it enough to get rid of it and then make a play. I think she got rid of it a number of times, but then we would hold it. The ball would stall and we didn't reattack. So I think their adjustment was brilliant. I mean, she was on a heater, and I've been telling y'all that that's coming. It's going to continue to come, but we've got to go to that next step. What happens when the teams do this? Okay, that's on film now. So we didn't adjust to their adjustments effectively, and then I think when it started working, then we started kind of pressing a little bit. And shots are always harder when you got a little bit more pressure on you. But I thought she, again. I thought she made the right reads, the right plays. I know she got tired there at the end and turned it over a couple times, but that's not indicative of the game I think she played.
Yeah, kind of zeroing in on that fourth quarter in specific, just what did UAPB do that made, just offensively, y'all had a lot of struggles there.
Yeah, they got us disorganized. Well, they were scoring too. That 14's not a lot, but it seemed like a ton more than that. I thought they were pressuring us, got us back on our heels in transition. Got us kind of looking around. Then we overhelped a little bit, and they dumped it off for an easy basket. To hold Zay and Karai to 14 for 35 or 33, we've got to do a better job of rebounding it on those misses. They're going to get their points. There's not much you can do, especially with Zay on her getting her shot. She can create her shot at any time. But I thought they got us on our heels. Then I thought our defense. Because they were scoring and putting a lot of pressure on it, probably led to our offense being a little bit rushed. I had to use a couple timeouts to save possessions that I wish we could have had to rest. That's kind of been our MO in the fourth quarter, to use timeouts to rest. But we had to use one too early in the game, and then we didn't have that one available for rest at the end. But again, I thought they were the more aggressive team, and it showed in the result.
Last thing for me is Saylor hits that shot to get it within one, and then Demetria Shepard hits that corner three. Just
after an offensive rebound.
Yeah, just that possession for them. Seems like it dictated the outcome.
No question. I think it deflated us, and it got their crowd into it, and got their kids into it. You could hear them on the floor they were talking about that next defensive possession. I'm not sure which kid it was. I'm going to go back and look at it on film and make sure Don knows that what I heard, but their kid turned around and yelled a defensive assignment out on that next possession that was spot on. I don't know who it was. I'm gonna guess that it was 25, or it could have been Shepard. It was Walker or Shepard turned around and yelled something to her teammates that completely blew our play up that had been working. So I just thought they executed. They thought they handled the moments better when they took that 4-point lead. It was very deflating. I felt the air leave the building. I felt the air leave our bench. I felt the air leave DJ Derrick. All of us. It just took it out of us. And that's where I go back to some of the pressure of playing against all these in-state schools. It's 4 times a year. Maybe it's too much. I don't know. I'll talk to some smart people around me, but I like it. I think it's good for our game. And again, I'm not going to second guess what we're doing, but I do know it's really hard to get up 4 times in the preseason. But again, I hope I haven't said anything that would make y'all think I'm that coach that I don't want to be getting up here and making excuses. They earned it. They won the game. They out-prepared. They outdid everything. And we'll learn from it, I hope.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.